Hello, I'm Kelly Hudson, and I'm going to be giving you a speech today on occupational therapy. What is an OT? An OT is a person who treats their patient or client holistically, which means that they treat the whole person, not just the disease or the illness or the injury. For example, on a stroke patient, we would start out with them by just asking them, what do you like to do in life? What are your fun things to do? What are your roles? Are you a mother, a grandmother? Um, what are your daily habits? We start by there, and we start filling out a profile on what they do and what they like to do. A good example of what not to do would be one of the teachers in our class told us that she had a patient come to her, and he had a stroke, and they were trying to teach him how to wash clothes. Well, he didn't want to wash clothes. He had never washed clothes. He was a 50-year-old man. He'd never washed clothes. His wife had always done it for him. He didn't want to learn how to do it. So there was no purpose in trying to teach him how to wash clothes. So that's a pretty good example of what holistic means. You don't treat them and tell them they have to do this. You treat them as you would want to be treated. And that's basic, simple compassion. To be an OT, you have to have compassion. You have to have empathy. I was fortunate enough to go through some occupational therapy because I hurt my arm in work. And my OTR, instead of just treating my arm, talked to me, because at that time I couldn't go back to work. I couldn't do what I was doing before. And she specifically stated, Kelly, you can't do that. She said, my suggestion to you is to go back to school. And I said, well, I was thinking about going back to school because where I was working, it wasn't making the bills. And I said, well, what do you do? And she said, well, doing what I do is fun. You make good money. And you don't have to work any weekends. You don't have to work any holidays. And you work the hours that you really want to work. So it's flexible, which is wonderful. And she said, I think you would do a real good job at doing this. And I said, wonderful. I'll look into it. So I looked into it, and I found out that not only could I work with older people, but I could work with children. And I could work with special needs children, such as autism. Children with autism, you can't just treat the autistic problem. You have to treat the whole person. And you have to help the family. And I think that's a big bonus for me. But as far as being an OT, there's not very many of us out there. And for the men, there's not very many men at all. It's mostly a woman's profession. So men are highly sought after in our program. And it's a lot of work. It's supposed to be a 2-year program, which ends up being a 3-year program. But you're almost guaranteed a job when you get out. I went to conference in Houston, and I'm first year in my program, and I'm already getting job offers left, right, and central. So, in conclusion, what do I think about this program of OT? I think it's wonderful. I think that it shows you that there needs to be balance in life, that you can't just treat the injury like PTs do, which is physical therapy. You have to treat the individual. You have to treat their whole body, their mind, their likes, their dislikes, and you have to make it to where it's fun for them, otherwise they won't do it. And that's the end of my speech. Thank you.